Let me ask you something honest. What does your morning look like right now? Your alarm goes off. You reach for your phone before your eyes are fully open. You scroll for a few minutes. You shuffle to the bathroom. You make coffee. You check your messages. You maybe eat something standing over the kitchen sink. You grab your bag or sit down at your desk and the day begins consuming you before you have even fully woken up. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, your dog gets fed. Maybe they get a quick pat on the head. Maybe you say good morning to them in the distracted, half-present way you say good morning to everything before your second cup of coffee. Maybe you let them outside for 5 minutes, and then bring them back in and that is it. And then you wonder, why does my dog seem anxious all the time? Why do they pace when I am on work calls? Why do they chew things they have never chewed before? Why do they bark at sounds that never used to bother them? Why do they follow me from room to room like a shadow that cannot let me out of its sight for 30 consecutive seconds? And why, at the end of a long day when you finally sit down on the couch, and your dog climbs up next to you and exhales that long, heavy sigh and rests their head on your leg, why does that feel less like contentment and more like relief? Because it is relief. Your dog just spent 8 to 10 hours carrying something. Not anxiety in the clinical sense. Not a behavioral disorder. Not a training failure. Something much simpler and much more fixable than any of those things. They spent the day emotionally unanchored. And it started the moment your morning routine sent them into the day with their most fundamental psychological need completely unmet. Here is what nobody tells you about dogs. And I mean nobody. Not the training videos. Not the breed guides. Not even most veterinarians, because we are trained to treat disease, not to teach this. The first 15 minutes of your dog's morning are neurologically and behaviorally the most important 15 minutes of their entire day. What happens in those 15 minutes does not just affect their mood for the morning. It sets the emotional baseline their nervous system operates from for the next 16 to 18 hours. Get those 15 minutes right and you will have a calmer, more confident, more connected dog all day long. A dog that handles alone time without spiraling. A dog that self-settles instead of demanding. A dog that meets the unpredictable moments of the day with stability instead of anxiety. Get those 15 minutes wrong, or more accurately, skip them entirely the way almost every busy owner does, and no amount of evening walks or weekend fetch sessions fully compensates for what was missing at the start. Please hear me clearly on this. If your dog is struggling right now, this is not your fault. Nobody handed you a neurological instruction manual when you brought them home. But you are here now. And what I am about to teach you takes 15 minutes, costs nothing, and will change your dog's entire day starting tomorrow morning. Hi everyone. I am Dr. Rachel Morrison, and this is Paw Secrets Lab. For the past 12 years I have specialized in canine behavioral medicine and the neuroscience of the human-animal bond. I study what happens inside a dog's brain during their interactions with the people they love. And I am here to tell you that the science of what your dog needs from you every single morning is far simpler, far more accessible, and far more powerful than anything you will find in a training program or a supplement aisle. Today I am giving you the complete picture. In Chapter 1, I will explain the morning neurological window and the specific brain chemistry that makes your dog's first waking moments so disproportionately powerful in shaping their entire day. In Chapter 2, I will reveal the 4 morning mistakes that emotionally dysregulate dogs before 9 in the morning, mistakes that feel completely harmless from the outside and are happening in nearly every home. In Chapter 3, I will give you the Paw Secrets morning anchoring routine, the exact 15-minute sequence of specific interactions that flood your dog's brain with the neurochemicals of calm, confidence, and connection. And in Chapter 4 I will show you how to read your dog's morning body language, the specific signals that tell you whether your routine is working and what to adjust if it is not. Subscribe to Paw Secrets Lab right now and join our community of educated, empowered pet parents who are committed to giving their dogs the life they genuinely deserve. Get something to write with because this is going deep. Let us begin. To understand why morning matters this much, we need to go inside your dog's brain at the exact moment they wake up. Because what happens in that first moment of consciousness is not what most owners imagine. When you wake up, your brain moves through a gradual transition from sleep to wakefulness. Your cortex, the thinking, reasoning, planning part of your brain, comes online relatively quickly. Within a few minutes of waking, most humans can hold a coherent thought, plan their day, and regulate their emotional responses to mild stressors. Your dog's brain wakes up differently. When a dog transitions from sleep to wakefulness, the limbic system, the emotional and instinctual processing center, activates before the higher cortical functions come fully online. In plain language, your dog wakes up feeling before they wake up thinking. And the very first feeling their limbic system registers upon waking is a question. Not a verbal question. A neurological one. Where do I stand today? This is an ancient survival assessment that every social mammal performs upon waking. It is an automatic, preconscious scan of the social environment designed to answer one critical question. Am I safe? Am I connected? Do I know where I belong in this moment? For a wolf in a pack, this question is answered by the immediate presence of pack members, by scent, by physical contact, by the behavioral signals of the animals around them. For your dog, this question is answered by you. And here is where the neurochemistry becomes critically important. When your dog wakes up and immediately receives clear, calm, connected signals from their primary attachment figure, meaning you, their brain releases a cascade of neurochemicals that set the tone for their entire day. Oxytocin, the bonding and trust hormone, is released through physical contact and eye contact with an attachment figure. It directly reduces cortisol, the primary stress hormone, and establishes a baseline of social safety in the limbic system. Serotonin, the stability and mood regulation neurotransmitter, is influenced by predictable, rhythmic, positive social interactions. A consistent morning routine that your dog can anticipate and rely on directly supports serotonin production and baseline mood stability. Dopamine, the anticipation and motivation neurotransmitter, is released in response to the expectation of positive experience. A morning routine that your dog has learned to associate with pleasurable, engaging interactions creates a healthy dopamine response that generates what behavioral scientists call positive anticipatory arousal. Not anxiety. Not hyperactivity. But a calm, forward-looking engagement with the day. These three neurochemicals working together in the first 15 minutes of your dog's day create what I call the morning emotional anchor. A stable neurochemical baseline from which your dog operates for the rest of the day. Without that anchor, your dog enters the day in a state of limbic uncertainty. Their stress response system remains partially activated all day, waiting for resolution that never arrives. Every minor stressor, a loud sound, a change in your schedule, a visitor, a delivery truck, hits a nervous system that is already primed and already searching. The anxious dog. The Velcro dog. The dog that cannot seem to settle. In so many cases, this is not a personality type. It is a morning that never happened correctly. Now I need to show you specifically where the morning goes wrong for most dogs. Because none of these mistakes look like mistakes. They look like normal mornings. They look like busy, loving owners doing their best. Which is exactly why they persist year after year without anyone connecting them to the behavioral patterns that develop as a result. Morning mistake 1. The passive good morning. You wake up. Your dog wakes up. You acknowledge them in a vague, distracted way while your attention is already on your phone, your coffee, your mental list of everything the day requires. Morning, buddy, said to the middle distance. Without eye contact. Without physical contact. Without real presence. Your dog received a sound. They did not receive an interaction. From a neurological standpoint, the limbic system's morning question, am I safe, am I connected, do I know where I belong, was not answered. It remains open. And an open limbic question creates a low-grade background anxiety that your dog will carry all day while their brain continues running the assessment loop looking for data that satisfies it. Eye contact. Physical contact. Real presence. These are not optional niceties. They are neurological requirements. Morning mistake 2. The excitement escalation. This one seems like the opposite of mistake 1. This owner is fully present and engaged every single morning. They wake up and immediately greet their dog with enormous, effusive, high-energy excitement. Good morning! Who is the best dog? You are! Come here! Jump up! Let's go! Their dog responds with matching energy. Jumping, spinning, vocalizing, full body wiggling. And this looks like joy. It looks like bonding. It looks like exactly what a happy dog-owner relationship should look like. But here is what the neurochemistry is actually doing. High-intensity excitement at the moment of waking spikes cortisol and adrenaline before the parasympathetic nervous system has had the opportunity to establish its morning baseline. The nervous system goes from sleep directly to high activation without passing through the regulated calm state that creates stable emotional functioning. The result is a dog that starts every day with their stress response already elevated. A dog that has been trained by their morning routine to associate waking with high arousal. A dog that cannot self-regulate downward because they have never been given a regulated starting point to return to. The morning greeting should be warm. It should be present. It should be genuine. It should not be a celebration that reads to the nervous system as an emergency. Morning mistake 3. The inconsistent schedule. Your dog's serotonin system, the neurochemical most responsible for mood stability and calm, is directly supported by predictability and routine. Regular, rhythmic, anticipated sequences of events create the neurological conditions for serotonin production. The opposite is also true. A dog whose morning is different every day, whose feeding time shifts, whose walk happens sometimes but not others, whose owner's energy and schedule is unpredictable from one morning to the next, is a dog whose serotonin baseline is chronically undermined. They are not anxious because of what happens. They are anxious because they cannot predict what will happen. And an unpredictable environment signals an unsafe environment to the limbic system. You do not need a military schedule. You need enough consistency that your dog's brain can form accurate expectations and feel the neurochemical reward of those expectations being met. Morning mistake 4. The skip sensory check. Every morning, before the day begins, there is a 30-second practice that almost no owner performs and that I consider one of the most important health habits in canine care. A brief, deliberate physical assessment of your dog's body. Running your hands slowly along their sides, down their legs, across their face and ears, checking their eyes, their gums, their coat, their movement as they rise. This is not just a health screening, although it is an extraordinarily effective early detection practice. It is a specific type of physical contact that communicates deliberate, calm, attentive care to your dog's nervous system. Slow, intentional, non-demanding touch on the full body activates the parasympathetic nervous system and directly contributes to the oxytocin release that creates morning emotional anchoring. The owners who skip this are missing 30 seconds that do two jobs simultaneously. It keeps their dog healthier over a lifetime by catching problems early. And it makes their dog calmer every single day. Here is exactly what to do instead. This is the complete 15-minute morning anchoring routine. It has 5 components. They happen in sequence. Every single morning, as consistently as you can manage. Anchoring Component 1. The 2-minute presence practice. Minutes 0 to 2. Before you look at your phone. Before you make coffee. Before you do anything else. You go to your dog. You sit or kneel at their level. You make soft, genuine eye contact. You breathe slowly and deliberately, because your dog reads your respiratory rate, and your breathing directly influences their physiological state through a process called autonomic resonance. You place both hands on their body with calm, firm, still contact. Not petting in the active scratching sense. Still, warm, present contact. You stay there for 2 full minutes. This is not doing nothing. This is the most neurochemically active 2 minutes of your dog's day. The oxytocin release triggered by sustained, calm physical contact with their primary attachment figure is measurable and significant. The cortisol reduction that follows happens in real time. You are literally changing their brain chemistry with your presence. 2 minutes. Before anything else. Every morning. Anchoring Component 2. The sensory body check. Minutes 2 to 4. From that initial still contact, you transition into the 30-second to 2-minute deliberate physical assessment we discussed in Chapter 2. Move your hands slowly from the base of the skull down the spine, along both sides of the ribcage, down each leg to the paw pads, across the chest, under the chin, around the ears. You are feeling for anything unusual. Any sensitivity, flinching, swelling, heat, abnormal texture in the coat or skin. You are checking the eyes for clarity and discharge, the gums for color and moisture. Your dog receives this as deep, caring, intentional physical attention. Their nervous system recognizes the quality of this touch as safe and trustworthy. And you receive the peace of mind of knowing every morning that your dog is physically well. This is the practice that catches the early limping that becomes the late diagnosis. The lump at week 2 instead of month 6. The ear that smells slightly wrong before it becomes the $300 infection. Do this every morning. Without exception. Anchoring Component 3. The predictable feeding ritual. Minutes 4 to 8. Feed your dog at the same time every morning within a 15-minute window of consistency. But do not just pour the food and walk away. Use the feeding moment as an active engagement ritual. Ask for 1 or 2 simple known behaviors before placing the bowl down. Sit. Wait. Look at me. Something your dog knows completely and can perform successfully without any stress. This does 2 things simultaneously. It creates a brief, positive, successful training interaction first thing in the morning, which releases dopamine through the reward circuit and generates positive, anticipatory engagement with the day. And it reinforces that your presence in the morning involves clear, calm communication and reliable reward, which deepens the trust and security of the attachment relationship. Place the bowl. Let them eat in peace without hovering or interrupting. The act of eating itself is calming and grounding for a dog. Let it be that. Anchoring Component 4. The Morning Sniff Walk. Minutes 8 to 13. This is not a bathroom break. This is not exercise. This is a specific type of outdoor time that serves a distinct neurological purpose. For 5 minutes, you take your dog outside and you let them lead the sniffing completely. No direction. No destination. No. Come on, let's go. You follow them. You let them stop wherever they want to stop and sniff for as long as they want to sniff. Here is why this matters more than almost anything else in the morning routine. Sniffing activates the parasympathetic nervous system directly. Research on canine olfactory engagement shows that active sniffing reduces heart rate, lowers cortisol, and creates a calm, focused neurological state that behavioral scientists compare to a meditative state in humans. 5 minutes of free sniffing is neurologically more restoring than 20 minutes of vigorous walking for a dog's stress system. You are giving their brain its morning reset. Its decompression. Its chance to process the world through the sensory system it is actually built for. Do not rush this. Do not check your phone during this. Stand still. Breathe. Let your dog do the work of calming their own nervous system through the mechanism evolution gave them. Anchoring Component 5. The Independence Bridge. Minutes 13 to 15. This final step is the one that prevents separation anxiety and teaches your dog to self-settle. After the sniff walk, you bring your dog inside. You give them something to do independently. A frozen enrichment toy. A chew. A scatter feed hidden in a snuffle mat. Something that engages them in a self-directed, calm, solo activity. And then you step away without drama. No long goodbye. No. Mommy will be right back. In the anxious voice that signals departure stress. You simply move to another part of the home and begin your day. What you have just done is extraordinary. You have given your dog 2 minutes of pure bonded presence. A full body health check. A successful, rewarding interaction at feeding time. 5 minutes of neurologically restoring sniff time. And then a smooth, undramatic transition to independent activity. Their limbic system's morning question has been answered completely. They are safe. They are connected. They know where they belong. And from that anchor, they can handle your absence, the sounds of the day, the unpredictable moments, with a nervous system that has a stable baseline to return to. Now I need to give you the ability to assess whether this routine is actually working. Because every dog is different. And the morning anchoring routine may need adjustment based on what your specific dog's body is telling you. Here is what to watch for. Green light signals. Your routine is working. Your dog wakes up and stretches fully, the full body stretch from front paws extended forward to back legs stretched behind. This is called a pandiculation, and it only occurs when the nervous system is transitioning from rest to wakefulness in a state of safety. A dog that wakes up anxious does not stretch. They mobilize. Your dog makes soft, relaxed eye contact with you during the presence practice rather than scanning the room or avoiding your gaze. Relaxed eye contact with a soft brow indicates oxytocin engagement and secure attachment. After the sniff walk, your dog settles independently without pacing, vocalizing, or seeking repeated reassurance. They can transition to solo engagement without protest. Your dog's breathing throughout the morning routine is slow and nasal rather than open-mouthed and rapid. Nasal breathing indicates parasympathetic activation. Oral panting in a cool, calm environment indicates sympathetic activation and stress. Yellow light signals. Adjust the routine. Your dog cannot settle during the presence practice. They keep getting up, moving away, seeking to play rather than be still. This dog needs more physical exercise before the calm connection practice. Add a brief 5-minute brisk walk before attempting the stillness component. Your dog rushes through feeding without engaging with the premeal behavior request. They may need the behavior request to be simplified to a single step they can perform without any cognitive effort in their morning state. Your dog returns inside from the sniff walk and immediately begins seeking attention or showing restless behavior. Extend the sniff walk by 5 minutes and add a second enrichment item during the independence bridge. Red light signals. Something deeper needs attention. Your dog consistently refuses food in the morning. Any morning anorexia that persists for more than 2 consecutive days warrants a veterinary check. Pain, nausea, and metabolic conditions frequently present first as morning appetite changes. Your dog flinches, vocalizes, or shows avoidance during the body check at a consistent location. This is a pain signal. Do not skip over it. Note the exact location and book a veterinary examination. Your dog's gums appear pale, white, gray, or tacky rather than pink and moist during the morning check? This is a circulation and hydration warning sign that requires same-day veterinary attention regardless of any other symptoms. Your dog shows aggression, resource guarding, or snapping during any part of the morning routine that was not present before. This is frequently a pain response and requires veterinary behavioral assessment before training intervention. I want you to think about something for a moment. Your dog wakes up every single morning with one orientation point for their entire emotional world. You. Not their toys. Not their food bowl. Not the yard or the couch or the sunny patch by the window. You. You are the entire context in which their day makes sense. You are the signal that tells their ancient, exquisitely sensitive nervous system whether today is safe or uncertain. Whether they are anchored or adrift. Whether the world is predictable and trustworthy or unpredictable and threatening. That is not a burden. That is an extraordinary privilege. And it only costs 15 minutes. 15 minutes of genuine presence. Of slow breathing and still hands and soft eye contact and a sniff walk where you actually stop and let them be a dog for 5 minutes instead of rushing them through their bathroom break so you can get to your inbox. 15 minutes that your dog has been waiting for, possibly for years, without the words to ask for it. The anxious sighing. The restless pacing. The Velcro behavior. The barking at nothing. So much of it is a dog trying to answer the limbic question that nobody taught them they were asking. You now know the question. And you now know exactly how to answer it. Starting tomorrow morning. Before the phone. Before the coffee. Before the inbox. 2 minutes. Still hands. Soft eyes. Slow breath. Watch what changes. I want to hear from you. What does your morning with your dog look like right now? Are you a rushed morning household or a slow one? Tell me honestly in the comments below. Because understanding what real mornings look like in real homes is how I figure out what to teach next. And someone reading your comment right now might recognize their own morning and finally understand why their dog has been struggling. If this gave you a genuine shift in perspective today, something you are going to carry with you into tomorrow morning, please tap that like button. It tells YouTube that this kind of honest, neuroscience-backed dog behavior education deserves to reach every owner who needs it. Subscribe to Paw Secrets Lab so you never miss what comes next. Because we go deep into real canine science every single week, and what is coming next might surprise you even more than today did. I am Dr. Rachel Morrison. Set your alarm 5 minutes earlier tomorrow. Put your phone face down on the nightstand. Go to your dog first. Everything else can wait 15 minutes. Your dog's nervous system cannot. And I will see you in the very next one.